finally did a series on Netflix, the animated He-Man series, where Kevin Smith lies to us less. Rock and roll, Daddy. What's going on, Bob Squad? It's me, Bob. Thanks for joining me. Episode 2 of Wacky Next Door Neighbor. I don't think Odie is in frame, and he's going to join us. He doesn't want to join us. Thanks for joining me. We're saying stuff and doing things again. Thanks for both of you who watched the first episode. No, thanks to everyone who checked it out. I just have to keep doing these. I don't care if they get 26 views. I don't care if they get 24 and a half views. We're going to rock and roll, strut and stroll, slam and jam, move and groove. There'll be a timestamp when we start talking about wrestling. And whenever that timestamp happens, that is in the heading, then we'll grapple in the chapel. We will wrestle in a castle. We will tear your groin from Denver to Des Moines. Daddy will have a good time. In the meantime, what's going on in Bob's world? Another weekend of... I had no shows this past weekend, but February is very, very busy. So we'll get into all of that later. No stand-up comedy shows in San Diego. Oh, you're not supposed to admit that. People book you when they see you're being booked. But nobody in San Diego is watching this. It doesn't really matter. It don't matter to Bob, Daddy. You know what I watched? I'll just tell you. It goes faster that way. Finally, Masters of the Universe. He-Man, is it Revolution or which one? Revelation was first. Revolution is the new one. So they made a season 2 of Kevin Smith's He-Man, where they finally did a series on Netflix, the animated He-Man series, where Kevin Smith lies to us less. And I'm happy about that. You know, it feels like season 3, but it's not. They put season 1 to 2 5-episode combinations of lying to us. What am I talking about, Bob Squad? They did a bait and switch. I understand how trailers work. Okay, they give you the best parts. Like any trailer for a comedy movie, the best 2 jokes are in that trailer, hands down. Sorry, put my hands down. But be that as it may, the last 2 trailers gave you every single second you see of He-Man in the 1 minute, and then it ends up being the Teela show and the Teela and Evelyn show. And yes, Teela is a prominent figure in He-Man, and so is Evelyn. But to go out of your way, Kevin Smith, you pandering ass, to go out of your way to neuter He-Man and Man-at-Arms and Skeletor and King Randor, and let's go out of our way to slaughter Mossman, Roboto, Orko, and Castle Grayskull itself right away, just to prove your point, and kill Adam and kill Skeletor and kill He-Man right away, and then bring them back a little, like, at the end of the last part of the season, you know, like, just to say you did. You fooled me too many times. So I was ready. I was ready to turn this off. But it's He-Man, and it's a new old thing. I love new old things. That's why you're looking at MOTU Origins. This is only a 3-year-old figure of He-Man and Battle Cat. This is a 2-year-old Castle Grayskull right there, Daddy. I love my He-Man. So, of course, I'm in. And I watched it, and I guess William Shatner was he played one of the bad guys at 99 years old. How about that? He's very old. And Mark Skyjoker played Skeletor once again. And I forget the guy who played He-Man. And Teela was, in the first few seasons, played by Sarah Michelle Vampire Hunter. And I don't even know if she played Teela, because it was unless she put some bass in that voice. My goodness. Maybe it was still her. I don't know, Odie. Do you know? I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. That was a nod to the 1991 WWF Survivor Series with Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan after The Undertaker defeated Hulk Hogan for the championship. Geeking out on this episode of Wacky Next Door Neighbor number 2, Daddy. What did I think of the new 5-episode season of He-Man Restitution? He-Man Recycling, He-Man Rotator Cuff Surgery. I don't remember what it was called. They're all R's. I liked it. They did good. He-Man and Skeletor, they're in this one. You can watch them. And it's not all about them, nor should it be. It doesn't have to be. But it does talk about a lot of repairing. It's like when there were 3 Star Wars sequels, Star Disagreements, sorry, I don't want to get sued. There were 3 Star Disagreement sequels, and both the Ryan something guy and the JJ guy kept correcting the other one's stuff that they didn't like. That worked out well. Well, they did this here. They corrected all the big bad mistakes. So that was nice. I liked it. And Skeletor technically was his character. He was half mechanical, called Skeletech, but they switched back and forth, so I was fine with it. We saw their version of Hordak. I have no problem with their version of Hordak. I didn't understand the motherboard, the villain. There'll be spoilers in this, why not? King Randor starts off by dying. King Randor dies pretty quickly. He's not alive anymore, but he was alive previously. That's what everyone's used to. But then when he dies, he's not alive anymore. And that's like a 180 to which the previous characters were accustomed. So it was like he zigged and we zagged. We went left, he went right. We went high, he went low. So he's not alive now, but he was alive previously. So he was alive our whole lives. He was alive his whole life, but now he is very, very dead. But be that as it may, now, he has one last adventure. He helps He-Man defeat, or I guess kill Scarecrow, and release some of their trapped souls, so they can't bring Fisto and Clampchamp back to life, but they can make it so that the souls of those two characters, Fisto and Clampchamp, can go to their pre-Eternia heaven place instead of just wandering around. Isn't that nice? Thank you, Odie. Now it's going to kill me if Sarah Michelle Gellar still played Teela or not. Chloe, can you Google that?
I'm so furry.
Thank you, Chloe.
I'm furry.
Well, anyway, they carry on, and Skeletor infects the citizens of Eternia with this weird tech virus, which makes them an unwilling army. So, of course, the good guys, we've seen this trope before in certain cartoons. The good guys cannot beat up these or hurt or kill or whatever this sort of zombified, brainwashed army, because it's really the citizens. We've even seen that in G.I. Joe's Money to Burn, where the people are rioting because the cash is literally going up in flames thanks to a virus implanted by Destro. And Flint and Lady J and Wild Bill and who else was there? I don't know. They were unable to roadblock. They were unable to properly beat the crap out of the citizen who tackled Lady J. And then Wild Bill stopped a girl from going down a hill in a pickup truck, which was left in neutral by a guy who wanted to tie up super army guys and thought that would work, and none of it worked. It worked out very badly, but in the end they defeat Cobra Commander. But we're not talking about G.I. Joe. We're talking about He-Man. He-Man finds he's brave and he's super strong, and he's wise again. He's not all powerful, he's not all knowing, he's conflicted. He doesn't make the right choice right away, but he comes around to make that right choice, which is what He-Man should do. He-Man is he's strong by being gentle. He can rip everyone's heads apart and twist their necks sideways. He can stick the sword up everyone's keister if he wanted to, and he doesn't unless he has to. Eventually does, I don't even know if he literally beats up Skeletor at the end. He probably does, but it's a team effort, and they do what they need to do. So in the end, this is crazy. We have a He-Man series where He-Man beats Skeletor at the end. And it's a great continuation, because now we all know the Adam He-Man secret. All the characters know, which I love, because if you've seen any of my son Bob action figure movies, you know I like to just trash that secret quickly as possible. And make fun of it and expose it as much as I can right away, because it just gets in the way of everything. And it is very silly. I mean, if you didn't know, okay, in this version, the small teenage Adam becomes a big hulking guy, you wouldn't recognize him. But isn't it weird that the teenager's green tiger with yellow stripes disappears at the same time this blonde hulking guy has a giant green tiger with yellow stripes? Deductive reasoning and context clues, people. They went out of their way with the member berries and the nostalgia. We saw the Gildor guy from the movie, which we really didn't need to. And they included every vehicle. They even included the good old Fright Zone. It didn't really do anything. It was kind of just a background for a flashback with Keldor, who becomes Skeletor and Hordak. But it's there. The toy is just there to say, hey, we remember you guys, and also buy these things when Mattel does a HasLab again next year. Just FYI. Right, he's getting a butt scratch now. It's probably off camera, but he's getting another butt scratch. Oh, he loves his butt scratches. We watched He-Man together, and I liked it more than he did, because he was asleep, getting his butt scratched and his belly rubbed. He did a good job. This is what your wacky next door neighbor is up to, folks. So I recommend He-Man on the Netflix. It's a popular streaming series. I don't have time to explain it right now. Right? No? I'll explain it later, yes. So let's put that away. It's our address and our phone number on your tag, LOL. Don't zoom in. Whatever, I'm not living here long anyway. Getting on out. Getting on out in a new apartment. The current property manager is supposed to respond to a request from the new apartment people for verification of renting, and of course the current people aren't doing jack about that. So I have to do everyone's job for them, and I'm getting a crown on my tooth and on Tuesday where I've been keeping my screw hole clean, LOL. And there we go. I think I'm ready to talk wrestling. That's what Bob's doing. Oh, shows. We gotta plug the shows, Odie, man. My little chihuahua, man. We gotta plug our shows. Escondido in North County, San Diego. Escondido, if you're feeling neato from your head to your feeto, in your bikini or your Speedo, we shoot second like Greedo, Daddy. And we won't make you bleedo, but what we will do is entertain you. This Friday, Saturday, February 2nd, February 3rd, Grand Comedy Club, 340 Grand Avenue, Escondido, 6:30 and 8:30 shows. So it has 4 shows in a weekend, Friday, Saturday. Featuring again for my man Zoltan, and buddy Rui Montilla is hilarious as well. He's hosting. So that's, we make a good trio. So come out to that, Escondido, North County. I'm hosting at the Madhouse Comedy Club this Thursday, 7:30, I don't know. It's on our website somewhere. My man Jesse Egan is headlining Madhouse Comedy this Thursday, and I'll be hosting that bad boy as well. What else is going on? Tuesday the 6th in San Diego, Barrio Logan, I'm at Wicked West. Wednesday the 7th, I'm at Candy's in Pacific Beach. Ooh, that'll be good. The 8th, the Thursday, back to La Jolla Comedy Store, 916 Pearl Street. Do not park at Pavilion. Thursday the 8th, I'm at Best of San Diego. And Saturday, February 10th, I'm headlining the LOL, the student show. My buddy Jesse Egan teaches the comedy class. The show's at 3 in the afternoon on a Saturday, Mic Drop Comedy Club. But speaking of Mic Drop Comedy Club, if you can't make it to any of those things, because that was too many things, I just wanted you to know I was booked on stuff, so you get booked more. It's all very stupid. Thursday, April 11th, Mic Drop Comedy Club. That's the one you want to be at. Bob headlines the Gold Room. It's bananas. It's going to be off the hook, off the wall, off the chain, under the table, under the weather, under the radar, saving trees, hugging whales, kissing hands, shaking babies. We feed the fever, we starve the cold, we hog the covers, and we stain the sheets. There ain't no stopping us, Daddy. Like a champ, like a beast, like a savage, like a warrior, like a madman. We're going to have weirdos, wackos, sickos, psychos, nymphos, pornos, powers, every kind of odorous Cheerio, Eskimo, Oreo. It don't matter to Bob, Daddy. Bottom line, any way you slice, cross your eyes and dot your T's. I know what I said. Just being the best Bob I can be, if you know what I mean. And I think that you don't. That is how we cut a promo. Let's talk wrestling. It's the Royal Rumble. Pat McAfee. R-Truth. Ricochet. R-Truth. Nia Jax. Becky Lynch. Candice LeRae. CM Punk. Kairi Sane. Katana Chance. Ivy Niles. Coco Beware. One can dream. Hey, we're talking about Odie's over there. He doesn't want to be on camera. 2024 WWE Royal Rumble. What fun and controversy going into this mess. I'm not interested in going over the Vince McMahon alleged blah-blah-blah three-way with the pooping on the head and naming the sex toys after the wrestlers. This is a real thing. It was in the Wall Street Journal. Anyway, Vince McMahon is no longer with WWE again. And I think my favorite part of this, I'll just say, just going to focus on the positives. that Slim Jim pulled out for a day when Vince McMahon was first, these accusations were first brought to light, to use the parlance of our times. And when Vince McMahon officially resigned, Slim Jim returned. And you know what that means after all these decades?
Yeah, Randy Savage won. Yeah, he is the cream of the crop. Yeah, better than the best, freak out, Hey, I'm past, present, and future, the greatest of all time. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about this show. This is a 4-match show, and it was... Call me crazy. Go ahead. But I thought what hurt this show was having only one singles match, and half of the 2 performers in the singles match, one of them was not really a regular full-time wrestler. Paul Logan's an amazing athlete, but he has got to be a super rehearsed. He's training to do specific matches. He's not a worker. He's not learning to be a worker, seemingly. He's naturally got great timing and great at working the crowd, but he's not a full-time wrestler who is there to regularly work them. We're just building. He's a means to an end, or an end to a means, or whatever. Be that as it may. He was still, both him and Kevin Owens over-delivered, but that was the second match. We'll start at the beginning. Why wouldn't we? I watched a little bit of the pre-show, but there didn't seem to be anything going on. I don't know if there were any pre-show matches. I hope there were. It doesn't seem like there were. But it was a little odd. They still broke 3 hours with the 4 matches, because 2 of them are Royal Rumbles, which are very long. I get that. I just think to highlight how special the match is supposed to be, especially now that there's 2 of them on the show the last 6-7 years, that to highlight how special they are, we need to see a singles match or 2 first. I honestly believed Owens and Logan Paul was going to open the show in my head, and I stopped watching. You want to come over, buddy? No? He wants to lick his privates. That's what he wants to do. Good job, buddy. Chloe, can you Google licking privates?
Yeah, it looks like according to this, I'm furry.
Thank you, Chloe. So, I was surprised. But I don't like to watch the pre-show, because in the last decade-ish, since the invention of the network, pre-shows, they like to give away too many things, like who got number 1 and who got number 2. And no, knock that off. The fun of the Rumble is a surprise. And I am parroting Eric Bischoff here. I'm stealing this from him, just full disclosure. He says the magic of the Rumble is surprise, anticipation, and stakes. Surprise is who's coming out 1 or 2, and are any of them big returns from an injury? Just big returns from haven't been there in a few years, or legendary returns from even longer ago? Those are the surprises. The anticipation is the countdown. We all count down together 30 times, now 60 times. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We do that, and it adds to the surprise, the anticipation. And the stakes, of course, are, since 1993, 31 years now, the winner gets the shot at the champion at WrestleMania. Does that limit our choices and our guesses as to who can win the thing? Sure it does, but it's not all about the journey, it's about the destination. And a great poet once said, there's no destination that's too far until somewhere along the way you find out who you are living in America. Think about that. I feel good. I do. No, but I feel good about the pay-per-view. And it wasn't a man's world, because a lot of people say that's 3 James Brown songs. Not bad, right, Odie? Licking his privates. That's 3 James Brown songs to describe the Royal Rumble. Oh, well, I don't know karate, but I do know crazy, and this was a crazy weekend that's 4 James Brown references. It was a crazy weekend for WWE. Be that as it may. We start at the beginning. The first match, the Women's Royal Rumble. Natalya is first. I think she's always first. Naomi returns. Cool. There's no Sasha Banks. Let's spoil it. Who cares? It's been days. You're a wrestling fan. You've seen it. Whatever. I'm not too concerned. I still think there's a good chance that the first Raw or SmackDown after this Rumble, we'll see a Sasha, or she returns at Mania to help out. I'm jumping a gun. Natalya and Naomi are about to lock up, and I forgave it for Sasha Banks, speaking of which, and Bianca a couple of WrestleMania goes. It was one of the Saturdays they headlined. Enough with the crying. Stop crying. Nobody cares about your stupid emotions. I've already felt them all. I don't care. Good for you. You're friends. Well, congratulations. You both drew 1 and 2. You're supposed to have 28 hungry athletes clawing and scraping and scratching the blood, the sweat, the tears, the training, the prayers, and the vitamins, daddy. They're supposed to be coming after you. And you're just there, you're shaking hands, and you're hugging. They're hugging. And they're crying. My feelings. Feelings. Shut up about your feelings. What's the matter with you? It's the road to WrestleMania. Ah, goddamn pal. They do that very good. And this is why it kind of puzzled me when people were online were saying, well, the women's match, Rumble match, was more exciting than a men's. Probably. But I don't think by nearly the degree to everyone's saying. Because really, it got crazy at the end. And I don't think the road to get there was all that spectacular. But whatever. Bayley was number 3. We knew from her reaction on SmackDown. They had people on SmackDown drawing the numbers with Nick Aldis there and whatever. And coincidentally, I'm not going to review SmackDown because it's right before the Rumble. That's silly. But Nick Aldis is his assistant. The day that The Rock is announced as boss, his assistant happens to be The Rock's daughter, whatever her name is. And she's 20 years old, and somehow that qualifies her. She's qualified to be an assistant general manager of a sport she's never competed in, but The Rock. And she's wearing shorts, which, what are you doing? How professional, you know? Anyway, but I let it go. And I didn't mind this. They had Bayley pull out her number and look at it and react disappointed, but she didn't say, oh gosh, darn it, gee willikers, golly gee whiz, shucks, oh me, oh my, I got number 3. She didn't say, well, Lord Alfred, you're number 3, woo, here's my wiener, on for Coliseum home video. If you got that, thanks. No, Bayley just kind of, she made a face, so she could have gotten number 1, she could have gotten 6, 7, 8, but she got number, so it gave us a ballpark. I'm okay with that. I'm not mad at that. It doesn't ruin a surprise. It just tells me, okay, we know she's coming in fairly early. What do we do? I'm not going to go through all of them, but maybe I will. Candice LeRae still works there. Jordan Grace, who I guess is the TNA Knockouts champion. She almost knocked out Bayley, who has to go for an hour after this. I mean, everyone is impressed with Jordan Grace. I'm impressed with the power, the physique. I thought she was charismatic. I liked her just fine. I have a nitpick. I don't know. This is a complaint. She gave Bayley a German. It looked like she dumped Bayley right on Bayley's right shoulder. And for the next hour, because Bayley was in there for 63 minutes, they made a point to tell us. For the next hour, Bayley's holding that right arm. Doesn't look to me like she's selling. Looks to me like she got dropped on her right side. There's a press conference later. She didn't say anything about it. Maybe they would just keep that hush-hush. I hope she's okay and everything. Whatever her Mania plans are, I just hope they continue. But I thought it was sideways on that German. I wasn't too happy about that. Indy Hartwell also is still employed. Asuka is a damage control friend. Were we going to see Asuka turn on whatever? Katana Chance, who and her Kaden Carter were both in it. They lost the women's tag team championships the night before. Katana is still smiling coming to the ring. She doesn't have her and Kaden Carter usually come out with these weird guns. They're with that look like fire extinguishers. They're putting out make-believe fires on their way to the ring for whatever the reason, so thank you for that. Kairi Sane and Asuka are in there, and they're helping Bayley, but not for very long, and it's all very confusing. Tegan Nox has multicolored hair, and her and Natalya take each other out for some reason. Yeah, Carter and Katana and Asuka and Bayley all kind of disappear, and Bayley's left by herself. Let's fast forward to number 19. Nia Jax is there, and her and Piper Niven are taking turns mushing Chelsea Green. I don't think Chelsea Green is an outstanding wrestler. I think she's good enough. She's entertaining. I think she'll have a long career there, and they need, especially, she added some personality to this when it was needed, and I'm happy for that. Becky Lynch, I stopped putting down numbers. She was 20-something. Becky Lynch is in there with Nia, and I fully expected Becky to get some comeuppance and be the one to take out Nia. As I'm going to get into it a little bit later, Nia Jax does not help people pick her up. So I don't see Becky Lynch being the one to muscle her up, but maybe someone else can. One of the highlights of this whole deal was R-Truth. He enters the Women's Rumble. He is not a woman, to the best of my knowledge. He is always confused and makes mistakes during the Royal Rumble. This will come back to bite us again later. Someone had to be the sacrificial lamb for R-Truth, and it was the lady with the antlers, the Valhalla. She manages the Vikings. She's barefoot. Not right now. At the time of this recording, I don't know if she's wearing shoes or not, but she was at the time this was filmed, which was live. This is in St. Petersburg, Florida. Do you need to know that? Who cares? She got distracted because R-Truth caused a commotion coming out to the wrong Rumble, and she walked in and got tossed, and she was mad, and Michael Cole got excited that she was wearing antlers. So, I don't know what's up with the antlers, but I guess the buck stops here for Valhalla. Jade Cargill makes her debut finally. She was in, I don't know, 25, 26, something like that, close to that. And here we go. Piper Niven, also a sizable gal. This is where it comes into play of Jade Cargill's amazing strength. And Nia Jax attempted a body slam and basically let go of Piper Niven and let Piper fall backwards onto Chelsea Green. I think Jade had not yet entered. Then Jade has to pick up Nia Jax in a fireman's carry to do her let her fall back maneuver, I guess. And Jade pulled it off. Jade got no help. And Jade scoops up Nia in that body slam. Nia doesn't even do the post off the hip. She's just falling all over the place, and Jade, she had a hand. Jade's right hand had a handful, let me tell you. If Nia wanted to complain about her hole 2 years ago, I mean, it was, Jade learned all about, oh goodness. Anyway, Jade muscled Nia up and out of that ring. And I was surprised they didn't give that nod to Becky to at least let Becky slay the dragon, especially since Becky did not win. But what happened, happened. Becky does get tossed. I think her and someone else, I think Becky and maybe Bianca, get tossed at the same time. Somehow Jade does something to take them out, which was really surprising. Liv Morgan returns. The number 30 spot has become the wacky return spot in the last couple of years. Liv Morgan does that. I'm going long in Women's Rumble, sorry. It's a big match. It's long. It's Liv, it's Jade, it's Bayley still in there. Liv does something to Jade, does her maneuver off the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. Jade falls out. Bayley does a quick kick, just a quick, yeah, right there, Daddy. Just kind of boots Liv out. Bayley at number 3 wins the whole thing. Fireworks celebration, and this, I guarantee you, this will be a big part of SmackDown for the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks. None of Damage Control came back out to help Bayley celebrate. They're setting her up. I think Bayley and Io is the match they're going to do, and Rhea, I still want to say Rhea Becky, and maybe even sneak Jade and Nia in there, and have 3 main women's matches, maybe a tag thing too. You don't even really need a tag thing if the Kabuki Warriors still have it. They're going to be occupied with Io and Bayley and yada, yada, yada. So I think Damage Control and the inevitable split and conflict is going to be huge. Huge part of SmackDown. It's basically going to be Damage Control and Bloodline stuff on SmackDown, and everybody else. We didn't see Pete Dunne, second generation athlete, son of Timothy Dunne from the Team Well Done. We didn't see Tyler Bate. We did see Karrion Kross, but not as goons. We saw Bobby Lashley, but not Street Profits. So I think SmackDown is Damage Control and Bloodline for the next 2 months. Next, and this is odd, the 4-way. Roman Reigns is second. I don't have much to say about these next 2 matches. We'll go quicker, I promise. The 4-way of Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight. was way better than it had any business being. Hi, Chloe. I know. Hey, shake, shake, shake. Good to see you. It was way better because they minimized as much as possible the amount of time two guys are wrestling and the other two were laying around selling. They still did it when they had to do it. Where's my water? But prevents fatigue and headaches. Hydration is key. But they didn't do it nearly to the degree that other 3-ways and 4-ways have. So they did a really good job. We got 4 great workers in there. Everybody knows what they're doing. Yeah, they did do, and sorry, episode 1, AJ's there to get pinned by Roman. It did hurt this pay-per-view. There's not even a chance of a title change. Obviously, Seth Rollins is hurt. There was no Rhea title defense. There was no Io Sky title defense. So, that was puzzling to me. No Rhea and no Io singles matches. Those could have been the other singles matches just to create some sort of tension or idea that maybe the WrestleMania landscape, might change a little bit. But they didn't do any of that. And I guess they were short on time. There's 2 Rumbles and a big 4-way, and, it's going to take Roman an entire match length just to get to the ring, etc., etc. The celebrations are going to be long. I could hear those I will not miss those goddamn neighbors, I swear to God. Old lady, man. I have no sympathy anymore. So, you gotta be he's so good. He's such a goodwill man. I love him. But they did the deal. Everybody's hitting finishes. Reigns, I love this, only hit his finish once. He pins AJ. There was interference from Solo and probably Jimmy too. I don't even remember. Maybe not. Maybe just Solo in the hoodie. It's always a hoodie. But anyway, Solo, I think he thumbed somebody, but then he missed a barricade thing on AJ Styles. 1 inch from crushing poor Samantha Irving over there. And AJ gets in there to take whatever, the spear. I think Orton and LaKnight had just traded RKOs and blunt force traumas and whatever. Bye, Odie. And that was that. So he got sick of this. He's tired of this. He's going to his bed. One of his many beds. Bye, Odie. I'll talk to you later. Okay, go sleep. Go sleepies. Because I love you too. There you go. Roman Reigns still the champion. Kevin Owens and Logan Paul, like I said, over-delivered. Everybody sold. They sold with their faces. They sold their bodies. And they still did their athletic stuff. Beat each other up. Very good. They sent some goon, I guess another member of Logan Paul's podcast. I don't know these guys. Some little goober to hop the barricade and just stand there. And this big gruff dude who looked like he can eat the goober just kind of barks at him and doesn't move him. And then 2 dudes who are clearly wrestling students almost in unison, like synchronized swimming, are just going like this with their ponytails flopping in the breeze, just going like, any one of you can just smush this guy. Just move him. You don't have to. I understand a security guard wouldn't just immediately start beating someone up, but someone has jumped the barricade. You're not detaining, you're not moving, you're not threatening. It was long, and the kid's just like looking at you guys like a goof, like you're not doing anything. And he's right, you're acting like goofs. Take him down. You didn't need this, especially because Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are, I guess they're the 2 stooges who are going to wrestle Kevin Owens even more for the next few months probably. They come out, slip some brass knuckles. Logan Paul fails to use the brass knuckles like he's succeeded with in the past, I think to beat Rey Mysterio. Owens catches him, uses him, leaves Logan laying. 1, 2, 2 7/8. Referee sees the knuckles on Owens' hands. DQ. I love this finish. I could do without the goober and the security guards. Took me out of it a little bit. I don't think you needed all that because Waller and Theory, there's 2 of them. One can distract, one can pass the knucks. I don't see why we needed more goobers. But the regular on TV camera goobers who've seen the inside of a gym, they can do it just fine. And they were fine. They were great. Great finish. Owens is not left pinned, knocked unconscious, looking like an idiot because the podcaster YouTube guy beat him with the energy drinks. Owens beat his ass like he said he would, and he got DQ'd. He reversed the heels cheating, but he's the one who got caught. Perfect. Love it. I just wish there were more singles matches. Did it need to be as long as it was? Probably not. But The men's rumble, thankfully I took very little notes, which is good. I don't want you looking at me, looking at notes. I wrote down everybody. Number 1 was Yeet, Jey Uso. Number 2 was Jimmy Uso. Not since, well, this is better than Demolition in 89. How old are you, Bob? This is 2 brothers, and they actually did fight, and the 2 brothers fought, and it was intense. Are we getting a singles match at WrestleMania? Probably. But I think 9 months ago, the idea that singles match at WrestleMania meant a hell of a lot more than it does now. I think it'll just be another match on a card. But you also can't not do that match now. Like, you can't wait another year. It's kind of silly. So I think you have to do that match. And you put on it's kind of not good to put on a pre-show. These guys are heavily involved in with the bloodline and everything else. So it'll be, but then again, there's 2 WrestleMania nights, so what the hell do I know? Yeet. But they beat each other up. Grayson Waller, speak of the devil, is in at number 3. He gets eliminated very quickly. Number 4, Andrade Yedalololololio returns from AEW. Looks great. He's an ass kicker. It took me a minute to figure out if he was a babyface or a heel, and he let us know he was a babyface, at least in this match later on. Carmelo, no relation to Michael P.S. Hayes. Was there. Somebody was number 6. Was it the Santos Escobar guy? I don't. So everybody's brawling. The Spooky group and Bobby Lashley's group, they brawl, and Lashley and Karrion Kross do the old Piper bad news thing where Piper tosses bad news, and the heel, in this case, Kross, who got tossed. Kross got tossed, and it's his loss, but then he pulls up Bobby Lashley, and he did not pull out on Uso, who was on the sauce. Sorry, I just needed, it's not on the sauce. They just got a problem with DUIs. Don't do that. Don't drink and drive. What happened here? I don't know. I wrote down Cody. I'm jumping the gun. Carlito is there. There's an apple, and he spits an apple at somebody. I forgot. There's a Ludwig Kaiser. He gets tossed and runs right into Gunther a few minutes later, who's very upset at him for being tossed. Shinsuke Nakamura was in there at some point. I'm going around a little bit. Dominic Mysterio shows up. Dominic is the first of the Judgment Day to show up. Finn Balor gives him some help. Austin Theory is in there. He's doing very well. Cody Rhodes comes in. He's probably the one. No, I think that the Yeet guy, Jey Uso, tossed Ludwig, probably. I don't really know. And blah, 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 blah. Kofi is there. He doesn't do a wacky thing. He's wearing shorts. He gets tossed, and And who's this? Bronson Breaker? Is this not? It's not Bronson. Oh, Bronson Reed. He's big. He's from New Zealand, and he's there to be not a guy you think's going to win it, but a sizable guy. His elimination will be impressive. That's why he's there. The Viking guy who's fat, same reason. His elimination will be impressive, but who will it be? Braun Breaker, finally, from NXT is there. So the internet is saying it was going to be a Lesnar Dominic Mysterio program for the next few months, and Braun Breaker completely took the role of Lesnar, including his literal spot in the Rumble, and eliminated everyone Lesnar would have eliminated and got tossed by Dominic, and that's where they were going to. I could buy this. Actually, I'm going to go, I rarely go with the internet. I could buy this because they need to ensure that I could believe they could do it, and what else is there for Brock to do? Who else is getting a loud enough reaction to have done something with Brock? I don't think they're going to do it now, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to be a positive Pete there. I think that's what they were going to do, but they did it. Eventually, Braun Breaker does get tossed by Dominic Mysterio. Omos is very tall. Pat McAfee, who was guest announcing, goes in and goes out. He saw the big guys and Omos and Gunther, and he gets scared and he jumps back out. It's kind of a waste of a spot. There's R-Truth is back. This time he messes up JD McDonough. How come JD had this long journey to join the Judgment Day, and now he's part of the Judgment Day, and no one brings up the fact that his initials, JD, stand for Judgment Day? No one has once used the line, I put the JD in Judgment Day. Or what do you think JD stands for? You have to put me in Judgment Day. No one's used that line at all in 6-7 months. It's right there. JD, Judgment Day. What's the matter with you people? I should tell somebody. R-Truth, of course, he does his thing in the Rumble is he always messes everything up. He's tried to win the Money in the Bank in the Rumble by bringing a ladder in there. What else? I guess can't think of any others, but he messes things up, right? Anyway, he stands on a ring apron and reaches to tag Dominic Mysterio as Gunther's choking out Dom. And Gunther finally gets the hot tag, which you don't tag anyone, to R-Truth, and R-Truth goes in there. And earlier, I think the distraction of Truth had caused JD to run in, get clotheslined back out. R-Truth really is the Sami Zayn to the bloodline of the parallel, the R-Truth Judgment Day thing. It's similar, but it's different. They do what they gotta do. So it works. It works for me. It's entertaining television. It's not gonna last forever. And Priest beat up R-Truth and tossed him later when Damian Priest came out. So it had to be done. Cody's in there, number 15. He's kicking ass. They need to give him a bit of a fight. They can't give him 30 again. We don't know if he's winning, but we know he's going to be there at the end. So we have to do all of that. Do I have any other notes before we get to the end? Please, can we go to the end? Let's go to the end. CM Punk. He is there. Good for him. He's doing great. He throws out Dominic. And he doesn't look bad. He doesn't look amazing. He's banged up. He's banged up. Was he sucking wind? Yeah. Just because there's no bumps and there's no running around high spots, throwing your punches and your kicks is exhausting. That's why I was saying last week it's almost a rib on LA Knight. He has to keep doing it because they keep saying yeah, but he's tiring himself out, and he's in outstanding condition. Punk's an athlete. He trains. He'll get there. He looked like he had better days. Yeah, he looked like he was not feeling so great. But then again, he also knows how to sell, so maybe he fooled me, which is good. That's what we want. The Final Four, Drew McIntyre, who came in very late, and he's bitter, and he's angry, he's beating people up. Oh, Sami Zayn was number 30, by the way. I haven't seen him on Raw in forever, because I have Hulu. Hulu is TV in the palm of your hands. Limited commercial interruption, sometimes not limited enough. 90-minute action-packed version, WWE Raw. Only $7.99 a month. Get Hulu today. Sign up, free trial for a week, and then they charge you. Sami Zayn got tossed, I forget, probably by Drew. They tossed the Yeet guy out. Sorry, Jey Uso got tossed. When did Jimmy Uso who tossed Jimmy Uso? Was it Jey? It must have been. I really don't remember. Had to have been. Who tossed Jimmy? Jimmy was in there for a bit. I don't remember exactly who tossed him. Maybe Cody tossed him. It doesn't matter right now. But Jay went. So it's Drew and Gunther beating up Punk and Cody. And I think Cody took out... Punk or Cody took out Drew. I want to say Punk took out Drew. Cody took out Gunther again. And then it was Cody and Punk did their 3-minute standard 3, 4, or 5-minute Rumble mini match thing, which I don't mind. I'm glad they don't do it every year. Like, for example, earlier in the night, Bayley just kicked Liv out right away after Liv tossed, she got Jade off the apron maneuver. That was great. So they didn't do something similar in the second match. The 2 Rumbles had different finishes. Don't think that's not Triple H related. That the 2 Rumbles consciously had not similar finishes. That's something a wrestler's going to see. And go, hey. No. So the mini match thing went to the men this year. It was Punk and Cody. It was very good. We saw 1 Crossroads. We saw 1 GTS. Punk started healing out just a little bit. Said something about Dusty's kid or whatever. He gets caught. He doesn't hit his finisher. Rhodes catches his leg and just throws him. It's a simple, good old-fashioned throw. No hold on to the apron, wacky apron back and forth. Teeter-totting, 3.5 feet in the air, which is always got 4 feet. It's kind of silly sometimes. But Cody just grabbed him and tossed him. And it didn't hurt Punk one bit. I think Cody needed it. I think Cody would have looked a little goofy coming back and just winning the Elimination Chamber thing. A lot of people saying the men's match was really boring and lackluster. A lot of people online blaming the audience as well. I don't know my Florida geography so well. I know the state of Florida sees a lot of big events. That's always a thing. There's also the fact that the star power is hurting. Lesnar wasn't there. Seth Rollins is hurt. Yes, they showed him in the balcony, whatever, watching matches with a skybox or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Cool, but good for him. But we didn't see him defend, and again, we didn't see Io Sky or Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's a huge star. I'm sure they showed her in the back making faces during Women's Rumble, but people want to see Rhea Ripley. She's a colossal star. So we didn't see any of Rhea or Seth, really. And Io's got that title, so we kind of feel a little, And all that star power was stuck into the four-way. So there's that issue, too, that the Rumble didn't have Orton, LaKnight, or AJ Styles. So I'm just saying. Could have had all those things. And it was just the circumstances, it didn't happen. And no fun, nostalgic legend returns in either Rumble. Even the Hulkster, they had Hulk Hogan out. Hulk Hogan did this Rumble ad, get ready to Rumble, brother, blah, 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 blah. It's 40-year anniversary of Hulkamania, yada, yada. But if you have the Peacock network, I don't know if other people saw it, but on the Cock, Hulk Hogan does an ad to visit St. Petersburg, Florida. Very similar to the ones when you watch those Crown Jewel Saudi Arabia things. You see the ad to come visit Saudi Arabia on vacation and take your family. If you won't see them again, but take them. Okay, thank you. No, I'd like us all to come back with our heads intact. So, but Hulk Hogan does an ad to visit St. Petersburg, Florida, which I've never heard anyone say they were doing ever. But that was that. Had Hulk Hogan, because he teased, I might have one more mad guy. Hulk Hogan is 70 years old. He'll be 71 in August. Why do I know that? That's terrible, Bob. That information is in your brain. Hulk Hogan is 70. If Hulk Hogan was the number 30 man in a Royal Rumble, you know what? Good. Cool. Who cares? Put him in there. Give somebody the rub of gingerly just shoving him off, busting his hip for the 14th time on the hardest part of the ring, which is the ring apron, if you didn't know. Cody wins 2 years in a row. I'm okay with the 2 years in a row thing. I think it can stop there. They haven't done it. Like they mentioned 4,000 times. No one's done it since Steve Austin in the mid to late 90s. So there you go. Let's not do it again for a while. It's fine. I enjoy that CM Punk had put an Instagram story out with the finish of Bret Hart and Lex Luger from 30 years ago, landing at the same time and teasing that maybe him and Cody were going to do one of those. Of course, he wouldn't tease that if that's what they were going to do. He's not an idiot. But it was amusing, and I got a kick out of it. So I don't think this hurts Punk at all. I think Punk winning the Chamber will be good because Cody won't be in that match and the audience won't be split either. I got to imagine whoever else. I'm assuming, I don't know, Cody CM Punk is in his Chamber thing. Probably Jey Uso, probably Drew McIntyre. And they like Jay, but they can say ye and go like this for only so long. But they're going to boo Drew, more rhyming. We tossed the cross at his loss, and now we're going to boo Drew. So, what other heels? I don't know. The Miz is a face, they might put him in. Oh, they'll put Damian Priest in or whatever. So CM Punk won't have, Cody, the number one baby face, hanging over him to compete with. So they'll be rooting for him in Perth. And Australia, I'm sure, will be a crazy hot bananas crowd anyway. So in hindsight, maybe better. Will that be when they do The Rock and Roman? Is Roman even going to Australia? I don't know. He doesn't seem to like doing those things lately. Would The Rock go to Australia? I don't know. Who says we're even doing Rock and Roman? Just because he showed up once and said head of the table once? What does that mean? I don't know. Cody and Roman at Mania 2. Let's give it a go. I think that's all she wrote. My other shows you heard at the end of my regular non-wrestling clip. I'll just rehash this one. April 11th, Thursday, Mike Truck Comedy Club. I'm headlining the Gold Room. You want to be there for that one. Tickets, the link, the description, the story, Instagram, at Bob Hansen Jokes. Saying stuff and doing things. I'm so sick of the spiels. You've heard them 24/7, 365, third time's the charm, Three's Company, getting 86 on a whole 9 yards, all the way live, Daddy. Live on the edge of a lightning bolt, making your body shake, your back crack, your liver quiver, your knees freeze, your bladder splatter, your spleen turn green with a hole in your heart and a pain in your pancreas. Thank you for watching episode 2 to Wacky Next Door Neighbor. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to rock and roll, Daddy.